The Janitor Who Became a Millionaire.
In a quiet town in North Carolina, where the autumn leaves fell so fast that people grew tired of raking them, there worked a janitor named Walter Higgins. He was 61 years old. He had a slight limp in his left leg, and his hands had grown rough from decades of labor. He mopped the school floors, fixed broken things, and changed bulbs in the high ceilings. Walter had worked at Lincoln Heights High School for 37 years. He arrived before sunrise and went home after the last bus had left. Students walked past him without a second glance. Teachers nodded politely.
Good morning, Walter. Hi, Walter.
But rarely spoke to him. To most people in town, he was simply the janitor, but no one knew his secret. On every payday, Walter walked 3 blocks from the school to a small brokerage office and invested a portion of his wages. Sometimes $20, sometimes $50. He bought shares in companies he believed in. He never spoke about it to anyone. His father, Robert Higgins, had taught him this habit. He was a hard-working, sensible man who recorded every bit of income.
See, Walter, keeping track of every dollar is key to building for the future.
Okay, Dad.
Try it, just like I showed you.
Right.
And expense in a notebook. He used to say, "Walter, it's not wealth that makes a man rich, it's patience." Even after his father passed away, Walter kept that notebook safe and continued investing as though he were keeping a promise made to his father. The years went by. His hair turned white. Principals and administrators came and went. He watched thousands of students pass through the school's doors, yet he remained steady in his work, quietly setting aside a little money at a time. One day, a young financial advisor named Michael Carter was reviewing old accounts. She suddenly came across one that stopped her in her tracks. The account belonged to Walter Higgins. It held more than $2 million. She could hardly believe it. She called Walter right away and asked him to come to the office. Walter arrived still in his work uniform. Michael Carter laid the account details out in front of him. Walter looked at the papers, adjusted his glasses, and said,
"There must be a mistake."
Michael smiled.
Walter, look right here. These are your final results. Your initial investment has grown. It is now over $2 million. This chart shows the consistent growth. It is steady over the last decade. You can finally retire, my friend.
Walter sat in silence for a moment. Then he folded the paper and tucked it into his pocket. Soon, the news spread through the entire town. Newspapers ran stories about him. People who had never once looked his way now came to shake his hand. Reporters asked him, "What will you buy now? A new car? A bigger house? A boat?" Walter only smiled. "I don't need much." Then he did something that surprised everyone. He started a scholarship fund at his school for students who worked while studying and supported their families. He named the fund after his father, the Robert Higgins Fund. And he made one more surprising decision. He kept his job. Every morning, he still came to school just as before, cleaning supplies in hand. Now the students recognized him and waved hello.
Good morning, sir. Thank you.
Morning.
When people asked him, "Why don't you retire?" he always gave the same answer. "This school gave me work for almost 40 years. Now it's my turn to stand by it." 11 years later, at the age of 72, Walter passed away peacefully. Over the course of his life, he had given away nearly half of his fortune to students in need. Even after Walter was gone, his kindness lived on. The students who benefited from his scholarship grew up to serve their communities and everyone remembered his name with respect. Of him, one sentence was often repeated.
He cleaned the floors, and he changed people's lives.